Hello and Jai Hind बच्चों. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic, features of planning. We had already covered the concept of planning and we had already covered the importance of planning. In today's class, we will cover features of planning and limitations of planning. As we know that planning is what? Advanced thinking. And planning is something which is important for each and every work. If you have a target, so that target cannot achieve without proper planning. Sometimes we do everything, but the reason of failure is not proper plan. So once our plan fails, our total hard work also fails. That's why the proper planning is always needed and always important. But is planning is related with the life also? It is present in organization only. But a planning is present not only in organization, whether it is a small organization, whether it is big organization, although planning is present everywhere. In your individual life, planning is present. In your general works, planning is present. Just a minute. So we will start with the features of planning. The first feature is planning focus on achieving objective. A bit of what is the meaning of this? Very simple. Planning focus on achieving objective mean what? Objective is what? Targets. Aim. So every organization, whether the organization is big, whether the organization is small, whether it is your general life also, everywhere some target is there, some aim is there, what the person, what the firm want to achieve. And that is what? That is the objective of organization. Like suppose, what is the primary objective of organization? Profit, growth and expansion. So for profit, growth and expansion, we have to think in advance that how we can increase our profit, how we can grow our business, how we can expand our business. Like suppose if we are producing one variety of product, how we can increase the variety, how we can diversify our business. These all, and for these all, you have to think in advance. You have to think in advance. Getting my point? So for that, a proper planning is required. I'm telling you. One example, suppose you have a target. You have one objective. You are playing a game. And what is your objective? That I have to win that game. A lot of competitors are there. One competitors are making the strategy to kill you in the game. So you have to think in advance that what will be the next move of competitors, and according to that you have to implement the plan, you have to do the work, and by which only you can win the game. Similarly, if it is a organization, and if organization set a target that I have to increase my profit by 10%. Okay, so for increasing the profit by 10%, the business have to think in advance that what are the available ways by which we can achieve our profit target of 10%. And what are the ways? Two ways can be. Either the sales will increase, either the cost will decrease. So they have to think in advance, they have to take the actions by which they can increase the sale and they try to reduce the cost of the production. So when they make the balance between that, then easily they will achieve their 10% growth target, 10% growth objective. So mean to what? That planning is always helping the business organization to achieve their purpose, and planning is always purposeful. Why so? Because without objective, if we don't have any target, we don't have any particular aim, then we will think in advance what? Nothing. So for thinking in advance, we have a target for what we can think in advance, that how to achieve that target. That's why planning is always purposeful. Okay. Second is very important. It is coming for 3 marks also. That how you can say that planning is a primary function of management. Dekho beta, if we are making a building, okay, 1 floor, 2 floor, 3 floor, 4 floor, all depend that how much base is strong. If the base is not strong, your building cannot be strong. But if your base is strong, then you can increase the numbers of floors in your building, and that will be safeful also. Similarly, management is what managing things and for improving, for achieving effectiveness and efficiency in the organization. But that management base is what? Planning. We have to think in advance that how we can do the work in a perfect manner. And after that, we have to collect the resource, we have to recruit the employee, we have to provide the direction, we will measure the actual performance. Getting my point? So management is what? Management is a process of planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. So what is planning? Planning is advanced thinking. We think in advance that what to do, how to do. And according to that, we will collect the resource. And collection of resource is organizing. So when we collect the resource, we have to recruit the number of employees to complete the task. Recruiting the employees is what? Staffing. And when we recruit, we have to provide the instruction to them. And that is what? Directing. And after that, we have to compare the actual performance, that what employees are actually doing that. So you see that all the functions are started when we think in advance. That's why we can say that primary function of management is what? Planning. And planning is giving base for all other functions. If we not think in advance, then we cannot continue the other functions also. Okay. And most important is this one also, that planning function is the primary function, but every function are interrelated. Every functions are interrelated. If there will be no proper coordination between any function, then organization will not achieve the target. Okay. So always remember, we have to learn, we have to keep the NCERT lines also for achieving the target. And what is our target? What is our objective? Our objective is to solve maximum case study in the board exam. It is our objective, and for that we are thinking in advance that we have to see NCERT lines very specifically. We have to understand the concept of each and every heading, and we have to learn the keywords also. Okay. So planning focus on achieving objective. It is what beta? Planning helps to achieve the target. Planning helps to achieve the target. So whenever in the question features of planning asked, that suppose a case study is given to you and it is asked that which features of planning is present. So when target word, target conclusion, target indication is there, that is what? Which features of planning? Planning focus on achieving objective. And similarly, this one, planning is a primary function of management that provide what? Basis of all the function. So when in the case study you come to know that by particular thing, everything is operated. Everything is coming in a framework because of that only. So you can identify the features of planning, that planning is a primary function of management. Now planning is pervasive, or you can say universal. That is very simple, it is not very tough. that planning is pervasive means what? देखो बेटा, planning is present everywhere, whether it is a school, okay, whether it is a school, whether it is organization, whether it is your general life, okay. Planning is present everywhere. Without proper planning, the goal will not achieve. Is it? I'm telling you, suppose yes, suppose you are purchasing a very wonderful car, very costly, okay, but you're not knowing that how to drive that car. Then car will be useful for you? No. Car will be not useful for you. Similarly, you have a very good resource. Car is what? Your resource. You have a very good resource, but you're not knowing that how to utilize that resource. What we have to do with that resource? Then that resource will be useful for you? No, it can be wastage. It can be wastage. So proper planning is there, and that is what? Universal, and it is present everywhere. I'm just giving one more example to you. Suppose I'm running a business. I purchase a machine from Germany, and my competitor is also purchasing the same machine from this Germany. But I think in advance that my workers are not skilled for that. My workers are not trained for that. So I have this idea, and I think in advance that I will call a trainer from Germany and recruit that person to train our employee, by which the employee can easily, effectively, efficiently work on that machine. But my competitor does not think this. My competitor does not make the plan. And because of that, in my organization, smooth functioning is going on. But in the organization of my competitor, what happened? The workers, the laborers are not skilled. They not know how to operate the machine. So they damage the machine. Production work is stopped. When production is stopped, sale is stopped. And extra expenses for repairing the machine will be there. So this is the difference, that when we make proper plan, then how the result will come, and when we not make proper plan, how the result can be affected. And it is not something that planning is present in general in organization only. It is present in a school also. It is present in organization also. It is present in your general life also. Like suppose you have a target to secure 90% plus in the board exam. So you have to make the plan. You have to think in advance that what I have to do, how I will manage the time, which book I have to prefer, how I will do the practice, and how I will clear my doubts. All you have to think in advance, and you have to find out the best possible solution for that. Okay. So by this way, generally is a myth that planning is present for top level only. No. Planning is the primary function of top level, but it is present at each and every level. Suppose supervisor is there. Supervisor have to supervise the workers. For that also supervisor have to think in advance that how to supervise the worker, how to implement the plan with the help of worker in the organization. So supervisor also have to make the plan. Suppose a middle level management is there. So middle level management also have to think in advance that how to make proper coordination between top level and superior level, lower level. The person have to think in advance that how to communicate the plan properly and how to manage the things properly, how to recruit the employees properly, what is the requirement of organization, and as per the requirement how I can choose the best possible guy for our organization. All that particular thing the person have to think in advance. So planning is something which is present at every level. It is not something which is present at top level only. It is present at top level, it is present at middle level, and it is present at lower level also. Okay. Up see this particular this type of case study will also come, which is known as source based. Source based is what? It is not from your book. It is taken from anywhere from the newspaper. So you have to do what, beta? You have to do continuously reading the newspaper also. And the best one is what? Economic Times, Business Today, magazine. So you go and read it that. Achha, what is this particular? In this particular, the summary of this one is that one IT company is there, and IT company have a target that I have to achieve 9,000 marks by March 2007, and for that they already have 3 centers with the capacity of 1200 professionals, but they are opening one more center in the Mumbai with 800 professionals. Okay, so by 1500 and 2000 professionals, the company is very sure that they will achieve the target within time. So the manager of the IT company is doing what? They are thinking in advance that we have to recruit first, we have to manage the manpower, and according to that we can go for this, we can achieve our target, and this will provide the strength to the customer service and account management capability. Okay, so this is what? This is a perfect example of how planning is focused on achieving the objective. Now next one. Now planning is continuous. It is just like a cycle. Okay, suppose it is very simple, beta. If we make a plan, we will implement that plan. Okay, when we implement the plan, maybe any deviations will come, and when any deviations will come, we will remove that deviation, again making a proper plan. So it is what? It is a continuous function. It is a continuous function. Suppose we make the plan, we implement the plan, we measure the plan, and when we find out that any deviations are there, to remove that deviations, again we make a new plan, and that cycle will always rotate, and because of this we can say that planning is a continuous function. Planning is done for sometime a specific period basis. Like you can understand with a proper example, our budget, government budget. It is specific for the 1 year. So after 1 year, again and again we have to make the plan. It is not something that once we make a budget and that will be implemented every year in the same way. As per the need, as per requirement, what is the current situation, where we can increase revenue, where we can cut expenses, all that they have to think every year. And after completing a specific period of time, again we have to make a plan. Okay, and that is totally depend on the future requirement. So planning is a continuous function. So you can give 2 examples. Acha, always write down the example. If you want to secure good marks, prove your content with proper example. Getting my point? So planning is continuous, very simple. So planning is continuous because we have to think in advance, we have to make a plan, and that plan can be for a specific period of time. It can be month, it can be a day, it can be years. So after completing that, again we have to make a plan. So this cycle will always rotate. And at the other hand, we can understand this also, that when we make a plan, we implement that plan properly. So maybe there is a chances of deviation, always the deviations will come. So how we can remove that deviation, that we can implement the plan properly, more proper? We again make a new plan for removing that deviation. So this cycle will always continue. And next one is planning is for future. Is it? You can change the past. Actually, suppose you can change the past. I had seen so many movies in Hollywood where you can change the past also. There's a concept of time machine. I don't know when that time machine will exactly come in India in real life. So you just travel with the time machine and you can change whatever you want to do in the past. But practically it is not possible. It can be possible in the movies only, where gravitation fail, where you just sit on a particular on a particular content, particular mat, and you will just hold your hand up and you will up in the air. So that all can be possible in the movies. In the movies, exactly, you can change the past also. But in real life, in practical life, past cannot change. Future you can predict. You cannot fix the future. And always planning is for future. Because we are always involved looking ahead to prepare the future. What challenges can become in the future? What opportunities can become in the future? How we can handle that situations in the future. That's all you have to think in advance. And when you think in advance, when you judge the future properly, then only you can achieve the success. Because this is the era of competition. Everyone is in the same line. Who will win the race? The person who always have a proper plan for upcoming challenges. For example, I am telling you, so many companies which business is affecting in the COVID-19 situation. They always look for future. I'm just taking the school example. Now, you had seen on social websites, you had seen on particular, what you can say, in your television program, whatever you are watching, watch always good. Watch the news channels, watch the business time, J Business, CNBC Awaaz, that you always please watch. You can watch the NTV Roadies also, no harm in that, but again, you have to make a plan that what you have to achieve and what you have to do. Okay, Nico, a part of the study, I'm telling one thing, everything is good. Even poison is also good. Because when we are in so many medicine, the poison is used. But the thing is what? Everything in a proper ratio. When you make the unbalance, when you disturb the ratio, then it can harm to you. Whether it is your general life, whether it is your targets. That's why it is always advisable to you that you make a plan where you make proper coordination between all the things. Game is necessary, definitely. Video game is necessary. As per my personal opinion, that if you go for video game also for a little bit in a day, that's good, no issue. But you have to set a target that okay, I will study for 4 hours, and after that 10 minutes I will play the video game to refresh my mind. But what is happening? Just opposite. The ratio is disturbed. 10 minutes you are studying and you are playing 4-hour games. That will actually make the unbalance, and because of that your total planning is failed. So planning is always for future. What you have to achieve, how you will do that, how the things will be effective and efficient. For that always we have to make the plan. Suppose a particular company is coming in your area. Okay. Suppose Big Bazaar is going to open in your area. When Big Bazaar is going to open in your house is in front of Big Bazaar. So you can make a plan for future that, okay, we can run a very good restaurant in the front of Big Bazaar. That will help us. We can run an ice cream parlor in the front of Big Bazaar. That can help us. Mean to say what? That always you have to think in advance for the future, for the betterment of future, what possibility you can achieve in future. Okay. Next is planning involve decision making. Okay. Look beta. Planning is all about the course of action. That course of action, what you think in advance, that you have to take that. Whenever any particular problem is there and you already think in advance that if this particular problem will be there, we can take this decision, is always helpful for you. Like you had seen the movie, na? We have plan A, plan B. If plan A fail, then we will implement plan B. It is what? It is the decision making. Planning give a relaxation, flexibility to you in advance that if anything has happened in the future, if any actual things comes in front of you, what you think in advance that if it can be happen in the future, that how we can take the right decision. Very simple thing is there. When you assume the problems which can come in the future, when you assume the opportunities which can come in the future, and you think in advance for that, you have a proper plan for that. So when suddenly it will come in front of you, you will be not hyper. You will not disturb. You will, in a cool way, you will handle that situation. You will enjoy the opportunities. You will grab the opportunities. But the problem is, then when it's sudden come in the front of you, then you don't have any plan. Then you will fail in that particular situation. For example, Jio come with the proper planning. Jio is a very good master planner. Jio come with the proper planning that, okay, I'm a new company. Already Airtel, Vodafone, BSNL, Uninor, so many Aircel, on that time Aircel was also there. So many already running companies is there. How can I capture the market? So Jio come with a proper concept that if I will provide 4G and that's totally free, then I will grab the market. So what benefit Jio have? The Jio tie up with the phone company, Life, LYF. And now Jio is giving the free service with the Life Mobile. Life Mobile giving the commission, maybe what I assume as a business teacher, that Jio company, Life company had given some contribution to Jio also, and Jio earned the profit. After that, Jio boost up the market of 4G, and Jio is giving the free SIM if you purchase the 4G mobile of any company. That Jio earn the amount from there only. And what we people think that Jio is providing free. So that is what? That is a proper planning what Jio had done. So with the proper planning, you can take the proper decision also. Planning is a mental exercise. Planning is a mental exercise. How we can say? Very simple, that planning is always done from mind. Planning always involves our brilliant level in thinking. If we are good thinker, we can make good plan. If we are knowing that how to use mind properly, then we can make a plan. Okay, so that is how the planning is mental exercise. Chalo ji, limitation of planning. Fatafat we will complete this particular topic also. Every coin have two faces. When planning have some importance, then planning have some disadvantage. One very famous question of plan, that planning is not the 100% guarantee of success, and it is true also. Planning is not 100% guarantee of success. If suppose we assume that we cannot predict, we cannot fix the future, we can only predict the future, that this can happen. If that thing will happen in the future, then our plan will successful. But if anything opposite of our plan, if we think something and in the future that is totally different, We thought that this will happen in the future and that will not happen in the future. So our total plan will be failed. That's why we can say that planning is not the 100% guarantee of success. And the first one is planning leads to rigidity. Fix. Look, this is the first disadvantage of planning, that planning is coming with our future assumptions. We implement the plan, and if the things are not as per the plan, then we cannot change the plan. Sometimes managers cannot change the plan in between, and because if the manager have to change the plan, so manager have to again make a new plan, so old plan totally fail. And that is the limitation of planning. Okay, suppose I thought that today rain will be not there and I'm doing my work. Suddenly the rain come, our total plan fail, total wastage of resources. Suppose I kept my raw material outside of my factory, that okay, I will keep my raw material tomorrow, there is no chances of rain. Why so? Because our mobile app is showing that today no rain will be there in your area. Suddenly suppose rain come, there is a less chances, but suddenly suppose rain come, then our our advanced thinking fail. We have to face the problem of wastage of resources. So manager needs some flexibility, but planning is rigid, and because of that it is a limitation of planning. Second is planning may not work in a dynamic environment. अब देखो भाई, dynamic environment, business environment, you are knowing that so many external factors are there which influence the environment of business. Social environment, political environment, technical environment, economical environment, that all are the environment which affect the business. Sometimes what's happened that because of any change in that external factors, our plan not work. For example, suppose I'm just taking a current example of Baba Ramdev. Baba Ramdev think in advance that okay, I will do the research on the Ayurveda and I will come with a proper solution of COVID-19 medicine. Very wonderful packaging, everything is good. And they are saying this also, that if you consume this medicine and you are at the 2 stages of corona, you will be very happy, you will feel very good, corona will move from your body. That's the line which is coming from Ramdev ji. But here what happened? Here government environment plays the role, and because of that Ayush Mantralaya had not given permission to them, and there's a dispute which is going on. So because of that, now medicine is not in the market. Although medicine advertisement had run, but now medicine is not in the market. So this is what the total plan failed. Ramdev make a very wonderful plan to earn good amount of profit, but because of an external factor of government, Ayush Mantralaya, the plan is totally failed. Suppose you make a production of any particular genes, and you assume that now youngster will love this genes. Suddenly trend change because of a movie. Because of a movie, suddenly trend change, and youngsters are not looking to your genes. Total loss. Suppose you purchase a diesel vehicle, and now the government make a rule that the diesel vehicles are not produced anymore. So the company who are producing the diesel vehicles, their plan will be failed. So these all are what? Sometime our plan is totally depend on future, and any environment change will also affect our plan, and our plan can fail in the coming session. Planning reduce creativity. As we know that one limitation is what? Planning is rigid, planning is rigid, planning is fixed. So when planning is fixed, the planning is reducing the creativity of manager or worker. Suppose manager worker have a very good plan as per the current situation, but whatever the plan the organization had made, we have to go for that plan only. In middle we cannot change that, and that actually reduce the creativity. A case is also there, like suppose a manager fix a particular plan and implement and set to implement by supervisors in the organization. Mr. Ramesh, who is a worker of the organization, is knowing the situation very well. Mr. Ramesh come with a plan that if this plan will be implemented, organization will be more benefited. But management not accepted the plan of Mr. Ramesh and said that you have to work as per the pre-subscribed plan. Which limitation of planning is there? So here planning reduced the creativity because management reduced the creativity of Rajesh. Now that innovation which is done by Rajesh, maybe it will be not happen in the future because Mr. Rajesh think that okay, I have to run as per the plan only, so I will not think something new. I will not think something new which can give the proper betterment to our organization. So that is what beta, that is planning, how the planning reduce the creativity. Okay, so this line, okay, this particular line, that initiative, creativity, that all is indicating what? That all is indicating the planning reduce creativity. Planning involve use cost. That is true. When we are making plan, we have to think in advance, we have to do the research. A lot of time is required. A lot of money is required to make a proper plan. And for making that, like suppose now in the organization, one department is there, R&D department, research and development department. And the work of research and development department is making proper plan, doing the research, what can changes, what opportunities can come in the future, how we can grab that opportunity. That is all the research and development department work. And because of that, the expenses increase. Discussion with the professional experts, making the research again and again, that involve use cost. That we can say that planning involve use cost. And it is time consuming process also. So it is a time consuming process also. Sometime when you are making the plan, it will contain so much time. And maybe that after making the plan, there is a less time which is remain for implementing the plan. And on that time, plan fails because of not proper implement. How much good you cook, that's always matter. But how you present, that's always matter. So both things always matter. If you cook very good, but the presentation is not okay, may the person will not willing to test that. Then how you can say that my food is good? How the person can say that yes, you cook very good food? So cooking the food plus presentation, both should be good. So you make a very good plan, but for implementing the plan is the time is not there properly, and because of that plan not implemented properly and your plan fail. Okay. Next one is planning does not guarantee of success. That already we discussed that. Okay, how planning is not the 100% guarantee of success. Look beta, simple you can, for this one particular keyword is there. Planning is depend on future. We are doing the planning for future. Future is uncertain. So if any uncertainty happened in future, that will fail our plan. Okay, we thought something in past that this will happen in future, and if that will not happen in the future, our planning will fail. Okay, so this is the limitations of planning, and this is the features of planning today what we discuss. So planning leads to rigidity. It means planning is fixed, not having the flexibility nature. Planning may not work in dynamic environment. External factors of environment always affect the business and because of environment, when the external factors are not as what we thought, our planning will fail. Planning involve huge cost because the research and development needed the lot of money, and that's why the planning cost will always increase. And planning reduce creativity. If somebody have some innovation, somebody have some initiative, somebody have some good ideas, that ideas cannot be implemented because planning is rigid, and planning is generally not changed in the middle. Planning does not guarantee success because planning is dependent on future. Future is uncertain. So if any uncertainty happen which is not in the favor of our plan will fail. So this much for today, beta. This much for today. We completed this one. The planning advantage means importance, limitations, features, and concept. In the next class, we will discuss the planning process, and we will discuss some case studies also. So for that, till then, thank you very much.